Hare Krishna amigos de Saque Alternativo, estamos felices de tener otra personalidad, otra invitada muy especial en nuestra página para seguir con los diálogos de cómo podemos encontrar la felicidad en este mundo material. Ella se llama Shyamarani Didi y es un honor para nosotros. It's very, for us, having you is really a pleasure and we are really happy to have you here. So we want to know, because you were already practicing like 50 years in Krishna consciousness, so we want to know what's the importance to have a spiritual life in order to be happy, in order to become happy in this world. So we want to hear from you, Didi. So
thank you for that very important question. Most important question in life. Who am I? Why am I here in this world? Why am I suffering? How do I get free from suffering? And what's life's destination? These are all questions for the human being. Until we have asked these questions, it's understood that we're not exactly on the human platform yet, because the human beings and the animals, our activities are the same in 4 respects. We eat and the animals eat. I may eat a fancy meal and they may eat by ripping apart another animal or breaking apart a bone or whatever. And ours is already cut up in the plate, and it's fancy and has flowers on it. And sleeping, they may sleep on the ground and I may sleep on a fancy bed. But the principle of sleeping is the same. Then mating. I may mate in a fancy hotel room and they may mate in the street. But the actual experience of mating is the same in the higher beings in heaven, on us earthly humans, and in the animal. And then defending. I might fight with fancy bombs or atom bombs or hydrogen bombs, and an animal may defend or fight with nails and teeth, or I may verbally defend myself with human words of abuses, and an animal may howl or bark or meow. But the principle of anger and enmity is there in both. So what's the difference between myself, a human being, and an animal? The difference is that I have the opportunity to ask that very question. Who am I? What am I doing here? Why am I suffering? And is there any way to get out of it? Most people are thinking if they get, say, a cut finger, they'll think, all right, let me go to the doctor, or measles, or whatever. But somebody who's really developed human consciousness will think, well, wait a minute, why do I have to get all these cut fingers? Why do I have to feel pain? How can I just have endless happiness? Because often in the material world, we find that happiness is not real happiness. It's nothing but a momentary counteraction of the stress. Like, for example, it's freezing out, it's snowing, and I rush into my house, slam the door behind me. It's warm in my fireplace. That's a momentary relief, but then 2 minutes later I'm going to have another problem. So it's really just a temporary relief of suffering, not a positive happiness. So then I close the door behind me, and I have a nice warm fireplace, and happiness. But no, 1 minute later there's going to be another problem to solve. Something else I want to amend, change, so that I can be happy. So real happiness is eternal. Otherwise, it's not real happiness. So we all want that real happiness. How to get it? And that comes to the question, what is the significance of spiritual life? So what is spirit? I'm spirit. And I am cooped up in this material body. Just like I have a body and it's inside this jacket. If I think I'm this jacket, then I'll be spending my time taking the little, if there's any dots of, oh, there's something right there. And I'll just spend my time with that. And then if I throw the jacket in the washing machine, I'll be thinking, oh no, I'm drowning. I'm twisting around. Because I'm thinking that it's happening to me, what's happening to the jacket. So I'm not the jacket, that's the gross body. I'm not the shirt, or which is the subtle body, the mind, intelligence, and false ego. But I'm the spirit, soul, inside. So this significance of why look for spiritual life is because that's what I am, and that's the only way that I can be happy. So, how to get spiritual life, what is the significance of spiritual life, is that's my real self. And then I'll be really taking care of myself. So, myself is a spirit soul, as it says in one of the most important ancient wisdom books of India, Bhagavad Gita, as the soul continually passes in this body from childhood to youth to old age. So the soul takes another body at the time of death. And the sober or intelligent person is not bewildered by all these changes. So the body is temporary. In fact, even scientists say that every 7 years we get a new body, because at every moment the cells are changing, and they're all changed by 7 years. So I want to connect with that, with my eternal self. So just like if I'm a Bolivian,
Bolivia.
So what would a Bolivian do to show that he's a Bolivian? Like in my country, America, to show that I'm American, I'll vote, I'll follow the rules, like when I'm crossing the street and it says green light, I'll walk across. If it says red light, I won't walk across. There are certain rules of being an American. I pay my taxes. What are some rules of being a Bolivian?
Well, also we follow the rules, the same rules. But, well, I think that to become a Bolivian, you have to like the potatoes because this is the main thing, in our culture. Is we are indigenous. The 60% of the people are indigenous, so they love they offer to these rituals. You have to know the rituals.
Okay.
Yeah. So Los Andes, this is a ritual. So
right, like that. So if I'm Bolivian, there's a certain way to be Bolivian.
Yes.
If I'm American, there's a certain way to be American. If I'm a spirit soul and I want to be self-interested to make myself happy and do my thing, as a Bolivian would do his thing, an American would do his thing. So there are certain spiritual activities. I'm a spirit, but what is my nature as a spirit? What is my spiritual consciousness? What is my duty? Like an American has a duty and a Bolivian has a duty. And what is my relationship to the whole? Like in this body, I have a relationship with a family and then a larger family. And first it may be my immediate brothers and sisters and then my mother and father. So who am I as a spirit soul? What is my nature? what am I part of, and then what do I do for my own self-interest in that context. So my nature, the nature of this body, is that it's temporary, it's full of ignorance, made of things like pus, blood, stool, and urine, and I try to be happy there. It's really hard to be happy in a slosh of pus, blood, stool, and urine with some flakes of skin on top of it. And as it says, beauty is only skin deep, because if I take off that skin, then the real nature of the body is revealed. But the soul is by nature eternal, full of bliss, and full of knowledge. Just by misidentifying with this temporary, ignorant, and full of misery body. So I'm identifying with that, and I'm not feeling self-fulfilled. Just like if I'm a bird in a cage, and the lady who's taking care of me is cleaning the bird cage, and cleaning and cleaning and cleaning, but not feeding me, then squawk, squawk, and I'll just die. So this body is like the cage that's meant for the undoing of the bird, not that the bird is meant for the welfare of the cage. Isn't that poetic?
Yeah.
Where did I hear that from? I heard it from my spiritual master, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada. So just like if I want to be this body, then I have so many teachers, I have elders that I learn from how to try to be happy in this body, learned, cultured, or whatever. So similarly, to fulfill myself as my real self, spirit, then I have a spiritual master. And the spiritual master teaches the nature of myself and how to connect with myself, and how to connect with my whole. Like I'm part. I'm part of a greater being.
Yeah.
So just like my hand, it's an individual part of the body, it's a hand. But it's part of a whole. And if I take care of the whole body, like the stomach, if I feed the stomach, then automatically the hand is nourished. If the hand wants to be nourished on its own by taking the food and just hanging on to it, it will wither and all the other parts will wither. So feeding the stomach, everything gets nourished. So similarly, as a spirit soul, eternal spirit soul, not subject to birth, old age, disease, or death like this body is, I am part of a supreme spirit, which people call God, which we call the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And so he's like the root. If I want to water any leaf of a tree or a flower of a tree, I put the water in the root. If I just try to water the leaves and flowers, they not only won't they be developed, but they'll also get moldy. So similarly, if I feed the stomach, then all the parts of the body are nourished and energized. If each part wants it for himself, like put the food in the ear, put the food in the hand, then nothing happens and the body, the parts wither. So similarly, I'm part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And what is my duty? To fulfill myself, just as the hand serves the stomach, just as we water the root, so we serve or glorify, connect with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that connecting power, connecting activity is called yoga. To do physical exercises is also called yoga, but it's not the complete yoga that India has to offer. It's for centering myself within this body, balancing myself within the body, energizing myself within the body. And that's good. But the complete yoga, to fully energize, nourish, fulfill myself, is when I connect with this complete spirit. And that comes by the process of bhakti yoga. Real yoga. Yoga means to link. To link two things. Like linking, if you're building a building, linking bricks with cement. Cement is the linking principle. So the topmost yoga, or bhakti yoga, which is the supreme spiritual yoga, is linking with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, my complete whole, by love and affection, by devotion. This comes by chanting His holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, and many other incantations, chants, glorifications. Reading about Him, hearing His glories, eating the foodstuffs that have been first offered to Him, as you said, in a ritual. But it's not just an external ritual, it's real. He's actually eating it if I'm offering it with love and devotion. And then His remnants are called prasadam, or mercy. And I get spiritual strength and self-realization and freedom from all the obstacles, all the cause of my misery from my past evil activities or immoral activities or activities that I did to hurt others, either intentionally or not intentionally. And so taking Krishna prasadam, food first offered to Krishna, also helps with develop my spiritual yoga or bhakti yoga. So in this way, not that I have to give up the body, within the body, I feel fully satisfied. And my body also, because I want to give it only those good things that the Lord already partook of, so I won't take animals. I won't take meat, fish, or eggs, because He doesn't eat them. He says in the Bhagavad Gita, if you offer me a leaf, a fruit, flower, or some water with love and affection, then I'll have it. So I don't take meat, fish, or eggs, onions, or garlic, or cigarettes, or drugs, because I only take the remnants of what He took. And that keeps my body healthy and strong and happy, energized, pure. And so both benefit in that way. So after my initiating guru, Srila Prabhupada, left the vision of the world, so then 15 years later, I met his successor, spiritual successor, who's your initiating guru, my instructing guru, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And he continued to teach me and hundreds of thousands of others, just as our Srila Prabhupada taught hundreds of thousands of fortunate souls. And there are so many spiritual books, scriptures, that Navalatika will tell you more about specifically and how you can get them.
So the last question would be that to become happy, so we need to know at the beginning, just to know that we are not this body, so we are this spiritual soul, so that we are the soul. And how can we start, like in the quickly way, let's say, to think and to get more into that we are the soul? How can we?
Oh, that's a very good question.
Yeah, like every day, like
every
in
day.
Our routine, in our, how can we?
Okay, whatever we do. Okay. We add, just like if you're in an inky atmosphere, and everything is full of ink, and your glass is also full of ink, and you try to empty the ink. I don't like ink, and again, your glass will be full of ink because the whole atmosphere is full of ink. But if I pour in milk, gradually the glass becomes filled with milk, and that way the ink goes. If I'm in a dark room, I try to push away the darkness, it won't go. If I turn on the light, it'll go. So what is the light? What is the milk? Very good question. It's the simple chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra in any tune. If you want our traditional Indian tunes, you can go, she'll tell you where to go on the website. But in any tune or even not tune, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Just 3 words, Hare Krishna and Rama, organized together to make 16. It's just a prayer, oh God, oh energy of God, I'm suffering in this material world, having become disconnected from you, turning away from you, and serving your illusory material energy. Please pick me up into the spiritual energy and engage me in your service so that I can be happy. So simply chanting, she'll tell you where to get some nice books to read. It'll fill your heart with so much nectar and happiness.
Of course.
And there's a particular way to offer vegetarian food, but in the meantime, you can just put it in front of a picture of Krishna and say the Hare Krishna mantra. That's a beginning. And say, please take this. And that's it. Just start with that.
Okay, thank you very much for your time, Didi. And
you'll start loving everybody because you'll start seeing everybody as other parts of the same body, the same whole, Krishna. So you'll want everybody else to be happy too.
Yes. Thank you very much. It was really a pleasure for us. It would be, va a haber la transcripción, los subtítulos. Síganos, pónganle like y compartan. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you.